Hello and welcome to card number 3 of today's Stampin' Extravaganza. Thank you so much for joining me. Today, this is the last card in the 3-card set for you, so it will be the last little packet that you have, and it will be marked up card number 3. So this is what the card will look like when it's finished, and in your pack you will have an envelope, a card base, a large piece of purple posy, and a small piece of purple posy. Then you will have a small piece of purple posy and a scallop rectangle that is stitched, and then you will have this lovely little die cut piece that comes from the dies that go with this set. So to start with, we are going to use these two pieces. So these two pieces we are going to stick together. It's really important with this one because of the ribbon on the card that we do this in these steps. Okay, so you've stuck that on like so. There's a nice thick border of purple posy around, and then we're going to tie some ribbon around our card. Now you will have gingham ribbon, but I have bumblebee ribbon that is solid without pattern on, and you have plenty of ribbon in your kit for this. So you are going to tie this ribbon round your card and secure with a pretty bow. Now this is roughly probably 3 or 4 centimetres from the bottom. Okay. You don't want the bow to be too big, you want it to be just nice. And it doesn't matter if your tails are facing inwards or facing outwards. Okay. So there is my little bow. But what you do want to do is you want to make sure that it is close to that edge, like so. Okay. So I'm just going to move that up a bit more. So once you have done that, you can now stick that piece to your card base that you've folded. Now I'm going to stick this on with dimensionals. So this card here, this card is the one with the most amount of depth to it. So this ribbon is actually bumblebee in colour, and we have used So Saffron for our yellow. But I do think that they go quite nicely. So there we have the start of our card. Now you're going to need your die cut piece that looks like this, and you're just going to play around with it to get as many of those pieces out as you can. Now you're only going to see the bottom part of this, so if you've got one side that's more stubborn than the other, don't worry too much, and you can use the tip of your snips to just pierce those through, or if you have a die brush you could use a die brush. I have one, but it's the other side of the room. Okay. That's fine. Okay. Now it looks like it's snowed purple posy. So this here you are going to attach to your card with, I'll show you, I'll actually do this as I go along. So where's the mini dimensionals? So for this I'm using mini dimensionals. And I'm popping those dimensionals underneath these centre pieces. So you want 1, 2, 3, 4. If you don't have mini dimensionals, you could use glue dots because they would work really nicely. Okay, and then you're going to layer this on so that that middle piece is lined up with the ribbon, and this point is actually pushed into your bow. Okay, so you end up with it looking like so. Okay, and then what you're going to do is you're going to snip off the edge of this. Like so. Okay, so that die piece now just runs parallel, runs up to the edge of your purple posy cardstock. Okay, and then now what you can do is you can layer together your white scallop rectangle with your purple posy piece, like so, and then this is going to be attached like that. Okay, you're attaching it so that the bottom of this lines up with the bottom of the ribbon, and it's roughly about 1.5 centimetres away from this edge. So I'm going to pop some wet glue down there, and I'm going to pop a dimensional at the top so that stays nice and raised. Okay, like that. So now if you have any pieces that are showing, if you haven't pushed them all the way through, you can now just carefully push those out. Okay. And then what we're going to do is we're going to stamp our sentiment. So I have a piece of purple posy, just a piece of scrap. You will have your sheet of A5 purple posy cardstock. You shouldn't have used too much of that so far, depending which card you've done in which order. I'm just going to pop that on the block, and you're going to stamp this in Gorgeous Grape. So it's just a little bit of a darker purple, like so, and then just cut this into a straight banner. You could cut this down beforehand if you wanted to with your trimmer, if you're not confident with your scissors, like so. And then we will mount this onto our card. We're going to add this with some dimensionals. I've just popped 2 dimensionals on there like so, 1, 2, and then this is going to go roughly about there. So you want a little bit of this scallop showing at the bottom, and then what we can do is we can layer on all of our flower pieces. You'll notice that for this one I have an extra image that looks like this. Okay, so that one is actually in your stamp set. That is 4B, 4A, 4B and 4C. Okay, oh no, sorry, not that one. 4A, 4B, 4C down the bottom. So now we can just arrange our flowers where we wish, and I'm doing this all with wet glue because we already have enough dimension there, I think. And then with the leaves, I'm going to have some at the bottom, like so, and then I'm going to have this one up the top, like that. And this is all done by eye, like that. And then our 2 little buds, we're going to have one in there, and again I'm not putting glue all over them, I'm doing it so that they are they kind of lift up. And then lastly we have this little bud piece, and I'm actually going to stick that down here, so I'm putting that underneath the scallop area. So that is card number 3 done. You will also have a layer to go inside, and it's up to you if you do some stamping on that or not. And then of course you've got some gems that you can stick on as well.